Oh, excuse me. What's going on, guys? Oh, I'm pretty much done working on stuff. So I figured I'd go live and just kind of chat with you guys for a little bit. I know we were live earlier this morning and talking about different projects, but there's nothing on TV that I really feel like watching. And if I sit in there in the other room any longer, I'm going to go back to working on stuff. So I figured I would just kind of come hang and chat with you guys for a little bit, answer any questions you might have. Um, just talk about random stuff. Um, I did just put up the pre-sale for the for you guys asked me to do metal versions of these two new prints. So I just put them up. So we have the Batman and the Ghost Rider. And let me pull that up so I have the Ghost Rider um, on my thing here. Um, Let me log in. Oh, this verification thing's so damn silly. Excuse me. Hang on one second. Um, I need to log into this so I can save it to my page. Um, but yeah, this morning we talked with Chris and we talked with Lori and about their upcoming projects and shows and everything that we've got coming, Kickstarters, things like that. But yeah, I just excuse me. Um, I just launched that pre-sale. So you guys be sure to jump over there and grab you a copy. Here's what the Ghost Rider look like. These things are damn sure going to be ridiculous as the metals. And I'm doing them. I'm only doing a 30 print run of each. They will come signed. They will come numbered. They will come with my COAs. But and I actually did something I hadn't done before. Both of them's up right now on the same post. And if you grab both the metals, I gave you a really good discount on them. And then on top of it, they'll come matching numbers. So anyone who buys the combo, of both metals, I'll make sure that you get matching numbers or field first to keep the sets together. But yeah, these are going to be really really gorgeous. I'm super excited about them to see what they look like in person. But um, if you're saying anything and I'm not acknowledging you, I'm not ignoring you. I just don't see your comments. But yeah, go grab you one of those. It's only going to be a 30 print run, but only 20 copies of each will be available for pre-launch sale. The last remaining 10 of each one I will take to me for these upcoming shows, so people can see them, in person. Um, Man, I tell you what, the storm has everything crazy. Um, North Mississippi on up into Tennessee and so on is really bad, especially North Mississippi. I think they've got over, uh, I think it's over 100,000 people without power. Apparently, like one of the main power lines went down or something. And they are saying that a lot of people in those areas are going to be out of power for weeks. So, because they'll start with the cities and they'll work their ways out to rural areas, and the amount of trees and everything and power lines that are down are insane. I've been seeing the pictures all afternoon from people living in North Mississippi. So yeah, it's going to be crazy. Um, but hopefully they can get everything worked out and get everybody turned back on pretty damn quick, I hope. Um, we do have the raffle for the original art, the Psycho Sound #1 New York Comic Con exclusive original cover art and book and everything. That it's full, and pretty much everybody's got their spots paid. We're waiting on one person to get their spots paid. I sent him a mail yesterday. I sent him a PM today. I'll give it until tomorrow evening, and if it doesn't get squared away, I'll open those two spots up, and one of you guys can have first dibs on it. Um, there's like two of you guys watching. Say hello. Where is everybody? Ain't nobody doing shit. It's a winter storm. Everybody's indoors. Where the hell are you guys at? Um, I know one damn thing. I'd be glad when I still feel a bit funky. Like every time I go to eat something, I just feel kind of but yeah, we'll see. Um, Oh, my sinuses. That's one thing about this crazy weather. It messes with my dang sinuses so bad. Excuse me. Sorry about that. But yeah, we should have a lot of this weather hopefully moved out of here in the next few days. Um, oh, I just realized something. Let me make sure my damn sound isn't on that stupid shit it is. Change it to a snowball. Okay, you guys should be able to hear me better without a tapping sound. When it, some reason, I don't know why, but when I activate StreamYard, sometimes it kicks it back to my laptop sound. And on my laptop, there's a fan under my laptop. So that tapping you probably were hearing, that's my fan making that noise. Um, so Cameron, what's up, everybody? Um, but yeah, there's I think the weather's supposed to be kind of pushing out of here um, Tuesday, Wednesday, or at least from our area, which we got lucky here in mid central Mississippi. Um, like right now, the temperature is 24 degrees, feels like 14. But we didn't get any heavy rain or sleet or freezing rain, which is definitely the one you don't want. Um, yeah, it's we're supposed to be having yeah, I mean, even though the heavy stuff's moving out next week, temperatures are still going to be stupid cold. What's up, Steven? So ice is going to melt slow. Snow is going to melt slow. So you guys make sure you're being careful. If you are out driving or anything, make sure you're being slow. I've already seen videos today where people are on these damn highways, and I'm like, why the hell are y'all out on the highways? There's people out driving around in their neighborhoods and shit like that. Like, why are you driving around? Stay your ass in the house. If you want to go look at your neighborhood, get out and walk. All you're doing is risking, damaging your vehicle or someone else's vehicle or hurting somebody that is out walking. It's just silly. But yeah, even in that that scenario, um, yeah, the temperatures aren't supposed to be picking back up for a minute. So it's a lot of people, like I said, again, in the rural areas, they're going to be out of power for a few, a couple weeks, if not longer. So, that sucks, man. I hate to hear that for people. I've been in one of those. I was in a rural area in 93 or 94 whenever that ice storm hit. We were out of power for 3 months. Because we were on the tail end of the power trucks getting to us. There were so many down power lines and trees and power line poles and stuff like that. It took them almost 3 months to get to us to get our power back on. So yeah, it sucks. Luckily, we had gas stoves, and a gas heaters, but a lot of homes now, when it comes to the heat part, it's all electric. Their hot water heaters are on electric. Their stoves, their heat and air is all electric. So yeah, it definitely sucks. Guys, go grab you some of those medals. I let the fans vote on that if I should do a medal run of those. A lot of you guys voted yes. So go grab a medal. Um, um, Damn, a lot of people had trees fall through their homes and everything. Like it's going to be bad. Um, so you guys be super careful. Um, I was looking at so the commission list is open for Akron, Akronomicon in Akron, Ohio, February the 7th, I think is the date. I'll be in Akron. The pre-show commission list is open for that. Um, I've not opened the commission list yet for Texoma. Um, I'll do that probably in another week or so, but yeah, yeah, yeah. The Oxford, the northern part of Mississippi, it got hit real hard with just actual nothing but freezing rain, and that's the crap you don't want. Like you can deal with the sleet, you can deal with the snow, but when it's nothing but the frozen, rain, that's where you end up with broken trees, and you end up with broken power lines and all that stuff with the freezing rain. You had a lot of places up north, trees. That's another thing a lot of people didn't know could happen. Trees actually exploding. All the moisture inside the trees freeze, and yeah, exactly. It passed over you guys and then came straight on across North Mississippi. Like I said, we got lucky here. I think I saw my power blink one time. Central Mississippi just kind of got sideswiped with the cold, and so we didn't get any of that freezing rain. Thank goodness. But yeah, it's crazy what's going on in North Mississippi into Tennessee. Yeah, a lot of people had no clue that a tree could explode in cold weather. Yeah, if it gets the temperature drops low enough in southern areas, especially, well, pretty much anywhere if it drops to a certain temperature. But trees, they have a shitload of moisture in them, and so when they freeze, they explode, man. It's like a little stick of dynamite in them. They'll split in half and all kinds of stuff. And that's one of the reasons, like, um, you know, I don't really care for trees around my house. I see that a lot in neighborhoods where they'll have trees, and I get it for cooling factors, especially in southern states. If you got trees around your house, it kind of helps keep your house a little cooler. But the damage they do when they fall, I don't think it's worth it. When I owned my home in Memphis or in Bartlett, um, I removed my trees out of my yard. Um, Boy, well, you artists trying to argue with people on social media like you're some damn moral high ground type of person about any shit that's happening in the world is fucking hilarious. Yeah, you're wasting your time. I'm gonna be blunt with you guys. You're wasting your time trying to argue with people on social media about politics or religion. You're wasting your damn time. Just get your ass back to drawing. And because if you're surfing Facebook enough that shit's happening on there that's pissing you off, or that it's causing you to get in arguments with people shit because you're on there too often and you're seeing post after post, it means your ass isn't working. Get the hell off Facebook and take your ass back in there and go back to work or go live and talk to your fans or some shit like that. Y'all arguing with people on damn social media about political shit's got to be the dumbest bullshit around. You're not changing nobody's mind. Everybody thinks they got the moral high ground. Just stop. It looks silly, but um, but yeah, we got like I said, we got a lot of good projects coming. I think a lot of people are excited about that stuff. We got a lot of shows this year. Super excited about a lot of those. I'm trying to line up some shows in areas that I've never been to before, or that I haven't been back to in a long time. But it's kind of weird how hard it is to get into some of these shows. They sell out, because you don't, a lot of the small to medium shows, they don't have a pro row, they don't have a pro invite type thing. So you have to buy your tables, and that's fine. It's just shows where you're having to buy tables, they tend to fill up really quick. And then sometimes you don't even hear about that damn show till it's too late. Because I want to do some shows, like in the Virginias or, hey, sweetie, or in the Carolinas. I want to do some shows out that way. But especially Heroes Con, and it's really, really hard to get into those shows because the majority of shows, well, actually, pretty much shit. I think all the shows. I think the only show I've ever heard of that rotates their artist alley is New York. So just because that's the only show that I'm aware of that you can't buy your table spot for the next year. All the other shows, for those that don't know, when Sunday rolls around and you were a paid artist or a paid vendor, you bought your table to be at that show, or you bought your booth, you can go over there on Sunday and you can repurchase your table or your booth again for the following year. And New York's the only one that I'm aware of that doesn't do that. You have to reapply every year. So they kind of rotate the floor a little, which is pretty cool. It gives people who's never done that show a possible chance to do the show. But if you're someone that was in the year before, you could get knocked out and not get to go back the next year. But like I said, you got to be a selfish bitch, in my opinion, to not want other people to experience something like New York, because that's one hell of a crazy show. So you throw in a hissy fit because you didn't get in, it just shows me how childish and petty and selfish you are. Don't do that. It's okay to be disappointed. It's okay to be a little upset that you didn't get in, but you should be grateful that someone else got to get an opportunity, because at one point your ass was the person begging for an opportunity. You see what I mean? You should know how that feels and how good it felt when you got in. I wish more shows did that when it came to the big Comic-Cons, because those shows are never going to have a problem filling their spots. So they can play that game a little bit. Oh yeah, I'll definitely, I got into New York Comic Con in 2024. I got into it again in 2025. I will damn sure be applying for it again this year in 2026. Fingers crossed that I can get in. That's a great show. It floored me the first year I did that show. it floored me how well I did at a show that big, because there's so many big names on Artist Alley. The entire first floor of that event is 3 floors. The entire first floor, which is massive, is all artists, from pros to amateurs, people who were guest invites and people who bought tables to be there. It blew me away. The reception I got from the damn New York fans and surrounding area that came to that event was incredible. My table stayed packed all 4 days. I sold tons of Psycho Sal along with a bunch of other merch. The love was incredible, and it's a incredible experience. New York's one of those cities I've always loved anyway, as far as the city is concerned. So yeah, I'll definitely be applying every yes. Yeah, the entitled shit, man. Like, most artists won't say this because they don't want to rock the boat, but you guys know well enough, I don't have a filter between my brain and my mouth. And at the end of the day, I don't give a fuck what other artists think I should be doing or what I shouldn't be doing, or whether I should be kissing that ass or this ass. I don't care. I don't care. That's one of the hard truths I learned about this industry is publicly, everyone is preaching brotherhood. Everyone is preaching family. Everyone is preaching camaraderie and lifting one another up. And it couldn't be any more farther from the truth. It is an industry of petty, childish, backstabbing, spoiled, entitled brats. That's what it is for the majority. And I've done shit tons of shows, and I've been around amateurs to, 20 plus year vets. And the entitled attitude blows my mind, from how they talk to other artists to how they treat promoters who brought them in as guest invites, to how they treat fans. So that's a hard truth you'll learn. So, just bury your head, concentrate on work, and don't worry about it. You treat this industry just like I tell people to treat their regular jobs. You're not at your job to make friends. You're there to do your job and go the fuck home. Same thing with art. This industry, you're running a business. It is not your job to be concerned about what other artists are doing or what they are happy about or what they think of you. Your job is to make sure your fans are happy with you. The promoters who help you and give you spots at shows are satisfied with your delivery of respect and hard work. That's your responsibility. Don't give a shit about what artists think, because the majority of them are backstabbing, petty ass people that will smile to your face and run their mouth about you behind your back. Is what it is. But yeah, when I remember when, and I hate that it's that way. It really does suck that that's the majority of the experience. Now, are there some good artists that treat people with respect and courtesy and kindness? Absolutely. Are there artists who treat their fans the way they should be? For sure. The majority don't give a shit about you. And I'm sorry to break it to you that way. And you can tell it by the way they talk to you at shows, or the way they doors open at 9:30 and they show up at 1 o'clock, too damn good to get their ass out of bed and be there when the doors open. They show up 3-4 hours late. And that's just complete disrespect. But anyway, that's a whole nother thing. But yeah, I remember when I made the announcement that I got into New York 2024. And I made that post saying, holy shit, guys, I'm so excited. I'm getting my first shot at New York this year. And people that were on my friends list were making shitty backhanded comments on their page because they didn't get in. I mean, and I know damn well it was because of my post at that moment, because it wasn't 20 minutes later, 30 minutes later, they're making a post on their page. I don't understand how these new artists are getting in the door. It's a complete disrespect to all of us who's been here longer. Doesn't matter if your ass has been here longer. What matters is how you treat fans and how you respect the promoters that let you in. I can't blame promoters if they don't want to deal with your ass because you have this prima donna ass attitude. That means shit. There ain't nothing special about none of us. We draw people in their underwear, you know, we're drawing people in their pajamas. You know, we're scribbling on paper. We're not curing cancer. You know, we're not fighting crime in the streets like actual policemen and shit. We're not running into burning buildings, pulling people out. We're not storming beaches or, you know, standing guard at watchtowers. You know, our ass is drawing in our air conditioning little hovels and playing with our pencils. It blows my mind, the mentality I've seen from a lot of people. And like I said, the just petty shit. And that's why I don't really associate with a lot of people. Like I have people ask me all the time, why don't I go out with these people at a show after an event? Or why I don't bring more people on my live shows and shit like that. Because first off, they ain't done shit for me. I used to be that guy when I first came into the business, the first 2 or 3 years till I learned the hard truth. I was the guy sharing out other people's content, promoting other people, bringing people on my little podcast thing every so often when I would do my podcast. I was the guy backing other people's Kickstarters that I had no interest in reading the book, but I backed it because they were on my friends list. And, you know, I found out quick, none of that shit matters. That shit they preach, they don't walk it, you know. What's up, Jim? Well, I appreciate that. I appreciate that. But in the grand scheme of things, though, no artist should ever have an attitude of, don't you know who I am? I don't give a shit how long you've been in the business, you know. No, you don't get to do that. You don't get to treat people that way. And now a lot of that's you fans have got to put your foot down. Stop letting these guys treat you that way. Stop letting these guys dismiss you like you're some peasant servant at their table at a show. Because, you know, I've said this many times over and it pisses some people off because I tell you guys this. But at the end of the damn day, y'all don't owe us anything. So there's no reason for us to have this don't you know who I am attitude. You don't owe us a damn thing, whereas we owe you guys everything, you know? But yeah, that, you know, that was one of the first times I was really starting to see some of the petty shit, was the way people behaved when up and coming pros got into New York in 2024. That was a real eye opener for me. And there's a reason some of those people aren't on my friends list anymore either, because I'll unfriend pros. I don't give a shit. You know, I don't need them on my friends list. They don't make my business. They don't enrich my business. I don't have a need for any of them, you know? So I don't give a shit about rocking the boat. They can all kiss my ass if they don't like it. If you're respectful to me, I'll treat you the same way. If you're good to the fans, I'll treat you the same way. But if you start having that attitude and that bullshit, I don't need to be around you. Don't want to be around you. And I hope the fans wake up and not come around you anymore. Because there are some good artists out there that do deserve, in the sense of loyalty and fandom, because they constantly give back to you guys. They constantly do for you guys. You know, but yeah, there's sadly that rock star mentality, you know, that some of them have, and it's the strangest shit to me. I just cannot wrap my brain around where that comes from. Because I mean, I've got tons of fans. I've got fans that drive hours to come see me at shows. I've had fans drive 3-4 hours to come see me at some little rinky-dink ass small Comic-Con, you know, 2 or 3 hours from their home, that drove out. And I'm technically the only artist there, because I'll do small shows. I like doing small shows too. And so, you know, so I've got fans that buy everything, that support everything, that drive out to see me, that make it a point to stop by my tables, even at big shows when they're already stretched thin and short on time, etc. And, you know, and so I get the fandom. I just don't get the attitude. I don't know. Anyway. Oh, shit. Oh, excuse me. Um, yeah, it bites you in the ass a lot of times, though, Jim, because, and I appreciate that. Thank you. I don't know how to be any other way. I've tried those moments where to keep my mouth shut, and I end up just being pissed off and walking around pissed off. Where I go live, I vent it, I get it off my shoulders, and I'm fine at that point. I don't know, man. I was raised, and I'm not better than anybody, so I don't mean it like that. So please don't nobody take it that way. I'm not better than nobody. I'm all kind of screwed up and drop the ball all the time on shit. Um, but one of the main things that I've always been hardcore about, and that's because my grandparents raised me, so it's a whole nother generation than some people. I was raised dirt ass poor, and my grandfather passed away, when I was around 10 or 11, and from cancer and Alzheimer's, and so it's just me and my grandmother for from then on. But one of the things my grandmother and my grandfather always told me was that at the end of the day, growing up dirt poor, all you have was your word, and you don't give your word unless you mean it, and you stand by it no matter what it is. You keep your moral compass. It doesn't make you better than anybody else, but there's just certain things it's a hard line in the sand. You don't steal. You don't abuse. You don't harass. You don't do these core things that you wouldn't want done to you. That's the way I was brought up to look at the world. Is you don't associate with thieves. You don't associate with bullies. You don't associate with people that are dirty. And I've unfriended lots of people after I found out who they are, because eventually people will show you who they are. They can't keep the facade up forever. They'll eventually get caught lying about bullshit, or they'll eventually get caught stealing, or they'll eventually get caught harassing other people and things like that. Like, they can't hide the shit forever. And, and the sad thing is I see it all the time. I see people like, again, case in point, Black Flag Comics ripped all those people off, them and Clayton Crane. Jason with Black Flag and Clayton Crane ripped all those people off for thousands of dollars when they lied about that cover, the stapled cover incident. Thousands of dollars ripped off from fans and other people. And a lot of people walked away, washed their hands of it. A lot didn't. They're still buying shit from that asshole. They're still supporting Crane's goofy ass. And I mean, and they showed you the type of person they are. They showed you they will lie to your face to steal your money. I mean, he showed you who he is because he slept with someone else's wife. Now, don't get me wrong, she's as guilty as he is, so she's trash too. And I've said as much to their face. So whatever I'm saying here to you guys, it's been said to him too. A thief is a thief, just like that incident with dipshit, and we found out he was jacking prices up on us, lying to us about what a printer was charging us. Then on top of it, we were double paying him. Then on top of that, he wasn't paying the other people involved, and we found out later that there is no backtrack. There's just certain things, in my opinion, and you can call that wrong if you want to, but there's just certain things that you're not getting back in my circle when you show me how big of a trashy person you are. Once a thief, always a thief. Once a bully, always a bully. Once whatever the case may be. They don't change, especially in Facebook land. Nobody has a reason to change. They vanish for a month or two and they come back with, as if everybody forgot what they did. And for some reason, the majority of people have this weird ass thought process, because I've seen them say these exact words. Well, I understand he did some shit or she did some shit, but they haven't screwed me over. So I'm going to keep doing business with them until something happens. That's got to be the dumbest shit I've ever heard. I mean, you might as well, play in traffic until you get hit. You know what I mean? It's such a weird mentality, but yeah, a lot of people have that strange mentality about people in this industry. Because I mean, I'm sorry, if I catch you fucking lying to me about shit, you're gone. If I catch you stealing shit from me, you're gone. If I catch you shitting on fans, you're gone. I don't need to be associated with you because I'm a big damn believer in you are the company you keep. So if you're okay being friends with someone stole shit tons of money from somebody, especially in an industry that pertains to you as an artist or creator or a retailer, that they're shitting on fans that are also fans of yours, and you're still staying friends with that person when it's proven they're filthy, you're the same as them. I don't know what to tell you outside of that. Yeah, keep your wives and daughters away from him. I mean, and then people want to make comments like, oh, well, that's not who, that may be who he is as a person, but that's not who he is as an artist. What? Yeah, it is. Who I am as a person is who I am as an artist. Who I am in my social circle is who I am in my professional circle. If you're a thief over here, you're a thief over there. Oh yeah, it's the same in the music, and it's sad now. It's the same in everything because there's too many people that are lazy that would rather throw you under the bus or try to smear your name or stab you in the back instead of outworking you or matching your energy. Most people don't want to do that. Yeah, I'm a big believer. My grandfather raised me with that shit. And now I'm not saying that we can't make mistakes. We've all made mistakes. We've been in low points in our life where we do something stupid. We're all guilty of making mistakes. But I'm not talking about just mistakes. I'm talking about when you make conscious efforts to do wrong to people, because you don't accidentally rob people. You don't accidentally slander people behind closed doors just because you're a jealous, petty bitch. You didn't trip and fall into that. Oh shit, I'm sorry. Let me dust that off. I didn't mean to do that. No, that's who you are. That's one of my favorite things to people that I like to get people drunk when I meet them. Like we go out as a group. I like to see people drinking because when people drink, they show me who they are. Whether good or bad. That's a great way. But the same thing works in the other. When you start rising in this industry or the music industry or business in general, when you start rising above others because you're working your ass off, they don't go, oh shit, look, Joe Blow is busting his ass. He's getting this attention and this attention. Let me match his energy so I can get some of that. No, that's when they start slandering you. They start talking shit about you behind your back, and they start trying to smear your name with other artists or other retailers or whatever the case till they get caught. And then all of a sudden, oh, I'm sorry, man. I didn't mean it. I was going through some shit. You're still a piece of trash, because again, you don't trip into that shit. Yeah, the only way you can do that to somebody is that's who you are. If you're going to sleep with someone's spouse, male or female, that's who you are. Sorry, boo-boo. If you're going to rob your business partner of their money, there's no accident. I don't give a shit what's going on in your personal life and what hardships you're dealing with. You're a thief. Bottom line. If your idea to get even with somebody that's outworking you is to try to smear your name, you're a weak ass bitch. Sorry, boo-boo. Because it's not hard to be fair. It's not hard to be respectful. It's not hard to be nice. And I don't want to hear anybody's bullshit trauma excuse. I don't give a shit what happened in your childhood. I don't give a shit what happened in your last relationship. I don't give a shit what happened in the kindergarten on the playground with Billy Bob. I don't give a shit. You don't get to act shitty and treat people like trash because of your supposed trauma shit. Grow the fuck up. Own it and move on. You know? But too many people want to use excuses to treat people like that. And it's bullshit. And people need to start calling them out on it. I don't give a shit about your trauma. I don't care. You know, we've all got issues we had to deal with. We've all had trauma we've had to deal with in some form or another, whether you're male or female. Stop using it as your little damn escape excuse. You know, get off your ass and do the work. Yeah, exactly, Jim. You know, because I mean, this is, you know, fandom should be guarded and protected on a whole nother level. Because fans, whether they're fan, no matter how they're a fan of you, whether you're an artist or you're a writer and creator or inker or whatever facet you fit into in this industry, even as a retailer, fans should be protected. Fans should be respected. And in my opinion, if anything, fans should be lifted up to a pedestal over us, because none of our shit is needed. You know, we're not building houses. We're not putting up fences. We're not laying concrete. We're not, you know, doing electrician work or plumbing work, shit that is needed to make everything around it run. Our industry is a pure, I just want to buy it because I like it industry. You know what I mean? There is nothing needed whatsoever about anything we do. Now, do what we do provide something for the world? Yes, it does. It provides inspiration. It provides positive vibes when it's done the right way. It provides an escape for a lot of people. Yeah, I've personally had fans tell me how reading Psycho Sal or reading Cursed Moonlight of recent, or reading, any of that type of stuff, tell me how that helps them deal with shit, that it's an escape from their day-to-day stuff. And, you know, and they've said that about other comics and stuff like that too. I'm not saying there's something super special about mine or anything like that. They're speaking in general, but they're talking about my IPs at that point, and they're talking about other IPs and things like that. So yes, art and books and, you know, all of that, it does provide something. Like I said, it is an escape. It is a feel-good thing. To be part of something, to help support something. Because really and truly, the human nature is to protect one another. It really was. And it is to a degree, even today. It's to lift others up. Even though we've got a lot of evil that happens and we have a lot of selfishness that happens, the majority of people want to see other people be okay. The majority of people, and if you don't believe me, take your ass down to a damn shelter during the holidays and volunteer and see how many other people show up volunteering to give out food and stuff like that. We used to do that every year in Memphis with my agents. You'll see. Let something truly tragic happen and watch how together neighbors and everything can come together. So they're part of something with the fandom. They're part of something to where they connect with other people, that they have the same interests with these other fans, and they get to go somewhere and enjoy something with the same like-minded people. and they get away from drama. They get away from politics and religion and day-to-day crime and selfish bullshit. So yes, we do provide something, but at the end of the day, it's not like, you know, building homes for someone or protecting the streets as a police person or fighting fires as a fireman. You know what we do, you know, it's not a must-have thing. So them choosing to give us their fandom, to give us their hard-earned ass money, I 100% think they need to be protected. They need to be treated on a level, to a certain level of respect. And some of you artists are failing on it miserably. Sorry, you can not like what I'm saying all the hell you want, but it doesn't change the fact that I see you at shows. I've seen you how you talk to fans. I've seen you show up 4 hours late on a Saturday when the doors opened at 9:30. You're disrespecting the fans. You're disrespecting the promoters. You know, and our job is to be there and return that respect and that love that they showed us by being our supporters. Because I'm a full-time artist. I make a very good living doing what I do. And I travel all over the country as a way of giving back to fans, to see them in person and interact with them. You know, and now don't get me wrong, I'm there to make money also, of course. But I spend a shitload of money to go to these shows. You know, a lot of artists do, most artists do. And it's not cheap. We were talking about that the other day, the cost of shows and how they're just going up. And but the main reason that I know, as far as me personally, the main reason I'm there, which is one of the reasons I'll do small shows where most people on pro levels won't even mess with small shows. I want to see the fans. I enjoy interacting with the fans. I mean, to the point that I've had pro artists sitting next to me in pro row, and when the fans walk away from my table, they make little snide ass comments. Oh shit, you talk to everybody that comes by, don't you? And that's not a compliment. That's a snide ass little backhanded bullshit bitch comment, because they don't want to get off their ass and do what I do. So therefore I'm doing it wrong. You know, I've got a table packed full of people every 2 minutes, and they got some, you know, they've been in the business longer than me. They got a bigger name than me, but yet they hardly have anybody at their tables. Well, get off your ass and talk to people when they walk by. Get off your damn phone and talk to people. I mean, you ask anybody that's sat with me at shows or been around me at shows, I don't even sit down during that show, but maybe a couple times for a few minutes. That 8 hours, that 10 hours that I'm there, I'm on my feet all day. And yes, I talk to every single person that is walking past my table. Hence why my table is full the majority of the time. It's not because I'm a better artist than that person or that person, you know, or I have better prices or whatever. It's because I make people feel like they matter. And that's the way we should make them feel. They stood in the lines to get in the door. They paid the over damn prices to get in the door. Let's be honest about that shit too. They paid the silly ass overpriced parking to get to the door. And then they come stand in our lines and they patiently wait to interact with us. And then some of you are dismissive as hell. Some of you don't even look up when you're signing shit. You got your little handler. You sign it, push, sign it, push, sign it, push. Some of you don't even bother to look up. And then I've heard some of you make some of the most shitty ass comments when fans walk away from your table. Oh yeah, that dude, man, every time I'm at this show, he comes out here and sees me and he just stands around all awkward and shit, and he annoys the hell out of me while the guy's spending money at your table. You're bitching, you know, or you got artists that'll stand there and bitch and complain to fans about how they ain't made no money. I've watched that from pros that are 25 years in the business. Literally, when they aren't bitching to me or the other person sitting next to them about how they ain't made no money, when the fans finally do walk up to their table, they bitch to the fan about how they haven't had no money. So, you know, yeah, I stand pretty much the whole time. That's a throwback to my construction days and my dealer days in the casino world. We weren't sitting. That's 8 hours, standing all day long. So it doesn't bother me. It's fine. I don't know. I don't get it, man. As a full-time artist, if it weren't for my fans, I couldn't do this. There is no ifs, ands, or buts, or maybes. I couldn't. If they weren't buying commissions, there's no money. If they weren't coming to see me at shows, I wouldn't be able to afford to go to shows and recoup my money and make some profit. If they weren't buying the exclusives that I'm doing for other creators and retailers, I wouldn't be getting more work because nobody's going to hire people that can't sell shit. So the fans make it 1,000% possible. Do I sit here and do shit tons of hours of work? Do I spend shit tons of money traveling to shows, buying art supplies and all this other shit, which, let's be honest, is not cheap these days? Yes, of course. Do I make the product? Yes, of course. But if there's nobody there to buy the shit, there's no point in me making it. You get what I'm saying? So yeah, artists need to do better. Retailers need to do better. Artists need to do better. Fans should be your priority. I've said it to some pros at Pro Row at shows. I've said it out loud in front of people because we'll get to talking about shit like this. I tell people real quick, we're hookers. That's what we are. Well, put on your little red dress and stand there at your table at a con and work your corner because we are hookers. We are there to put on a good show. We are there to make sure that everybody is happy with their experience with us and we get paid for it. So yes, we are hookers. So stop thinking that there's something special about you. You're a straight up hooker. Now, eventually, if you hang in there long enough, you'll progress to a call girl. So you'll make a little more money. You'll get a few more invites to cons as a pro. So you don't have to pay for your table or maybe your table and your hotel. So you kind of start moving towards that call girl level. But don't get it twisted, bitch. From the get-go, you're a lot lizard. Okay? You a street walking whore. So work your corner. Because that's our job. Our job is to make sure they have a great experience. Like case in point, I was at a show in December, Cajun Con, for Scott Ines. Scott Ines, the voice of Scooby-Doo and Shaggy and all that. And he was gracious enough to ask me to be a pro artist invite for his Comic-Con. And of course I told him yes. And I did that show. I remember this lady came up and she had 3 small children with her. I believe it was 2 girls and a boy, maybe around, I don't know, maybe 8 or 10. That was the first time they've ever, and they walked in the door, came right. My table was about 5 tables down from the entrance, and they stopped at my table. And, and I treated them the same way I do everyone else. Hey guys, how you doing? You guys having a good time? So I engaged. I didn't go to try to sell them shit. I engaged with them on a personal level, asking them how their day was, asking them, the kids, talking to the children, asking them if they're having a good time and stuff like that. And she's oh yeah, we just walked in the door, but they're already having a blast. She said, this is the first time we've ever done anything like this. And what I'm about to tell you, I'm not telling you for a pat on the back, and I'm not telling you saying you got to go do this. But when she said that to me, I was like, yeah, you know what? I said, I tell you what, kids, which characters on the print wall behind me here is your favorite piece you see on the wall? Now, I didn't tell them I was giving them anything. I just said, hey, which one's your favorite? Which characters do you like up there? And each one of the kids took a turn telling me what characters they liked on the wall. I was like, oh, okay, cool. Yeah, I like that one. That's a good one. I had a lot of fun drawing that one, et cetera, whatever. And then once the third kid told me theirs, I just turned around to my print box, pulled out each one of those 3 prints, signed them, gave them to the kids for free. Not a big deal. But later, and of course, they were stupid ecstatic and happy and grateful. And then they went and left, and I didn't see them anymore the rest of the day till the end. But at the end of that day, she had went and grabbed one of the workers or one of the co-promoters or somebody working with Scott, and brought them over to my table and said, I just wanted to let you guys know that this artist right here absolutely made this show for us. We walked in, this is the first time we've ever been to one. His engagement and the way he treated my children, we will absolutely be back at your show next year if y'all do it again next year. He made this show for us. And I've heard that many times from older fans to younger. They were very grateful of how I talked to them. But that's a core memory. Those 3 kids will never forget that. Hell, she'll probably never forget that because it was about her children. And that's something, and I'm not saying you got to go give away free shit. I don't mean that. But that interaction, that making someone feel important, and they're you as soon as they walk up to your table, you don't immediately go to try to tell them all the prices and try to sell them shit. And I see that all the time. Try to connect with them for a few. And I get that that's hard to do sometimes at bigger cons. I get it. But you can give 20 or 30 seconds engaging with someone, especially if they have small children with them. Talk to those children because that's your future. That's the future of the industry, or those kids. And let's be honest, a lot of kids don't give 2 shits about comics these days. They don't really give 2 shits about Comic-Cons. How many times have you been at a Comic-Con and watched kids walking through it with their parents and they're on their phone the whole damn time? They're just walking behind their parents. They ain't paying attention to not shit. They don't care. But all it takes is one interaction and they may care. You get what I'm saying? Hey, what's up, buddy? Yeah, it does, man. Kindness goes a long way. I mean, I've been on both sides of that aisle. I remember being a fan, going to Comic-Cons ever so often and having to drive, 10 hours to a Comic-Con close to me. And then have somebody that I was excited to meet that I grew up buying their fucking comics and shit, excuse my language. And then they talk to me like I'm bothering them. Like I've seen artists be sitting behind their table and somebody walk up to get something signed, say, oh man, hey, it's awesome to see you. I was so glad I caught you. Could I get you to sign? My next signing event is 2:00. And this could be 11 or this could be 1. I don't know. But I've heard them say that shit to fans. No, bitch. If an artist ever tells you that shit, don't buy nothing else from that artist. I don't give a shit how much you like their stuff. Don't do it. Because here's the damn thing. Again, we're there to work for you. Okay? We're there to make sure you're having a good time, in my opinion, and that you're getting what you deserve. So if somebody ever says that to you, don't ever go back to them. And I'm telling you, artists out there, I don't give a shit who you are. Now don't get me wrong. If you're Todd McFarlane or you're Jim Lee or you're people doing a signing event, that's a different story. I'm not talking about that. But if you're setting your little ass right there in Artist Alley or in Pro Row with us, and somebody walks up and asks you to sign something, sign their shit. I don't care whether you do it for free or whether you charge a fee, but sign their stuff. Don't dismiss them and have them come back at a different time. Because first off, a lot of people doing shows, I don't know how many times I've seen fans that's the only day they can be there. And I've seen moments where fans pay for a full damn day and can only be at a show half a day. I've seen it. So don't be that bitch, okay? It takes you all of 20 seconds to sign something for somebody. So don't. I don't give a shit what sign you have on your damn table. I don't care. If you're sitting right there in Pro Row or you're sitting in Artist Alley and somebody wants something signed, get off your ass and sign it. I've seen that shit happen, and it's got to be the most disrespectful thing I've ever seen. Other than the whole you're standing in a line to get shit signed and people sign it, push, and don't even bother to look up at you and say thank you for being here. Don't go back to those people. I don't care if it's an actor or a voice actor or some type of artist or creator. If they can't give you 30 seconds of their damn life, screw them. There's plenty of other artists out there that are great talent that have value that will treat you that way. See, y'all have the power. We don't. And y'all need to remember that. And artists need to wake up and remember that too. See, a lot of artists have conned you guys into thinking that we're on some damn pedestal, and you should be grateful that we showed up to your little event. No, that's not how it works. But a lot of artists have y'all conned into that shit. Nope. Don't let a damn artist talk to you in a disrespectful way. Don't let them dismiss you. Don't. Just don't. And we see it a lot. I mean, same thing goes with promoters, though. Promoters have got to start standing their ground. Stop letting these artists show up late and leave early. Like if you leave 20 minutes, 30 minutes early because the show is dead, that's fine. I'm not talking about that. But if you're doing a damn, doing a show and it's Saturday morning, let's say it's a Saturday, Sunday show, and your ass came in Friday, you set up at the show, and then Saturday the doors open at 9:30 or 10, and you don't show your ass up till 1 o'clock. If I was a promoter, your ass would never come back to my show. I don't give a shit who you are. Because here's the thing, promoters need to remember. If it's an itty bitty con and that's the only artist you got there, okay, ain't much you can do about it. Ain't much you can do. But when it's a big damn show, 3-day shows, 2-day shows, 4-day shows, but that are big, massive shows, those fans are coming whether that one artist has his ass in that row or not, because they're coming to see everybody else. So just don't invite that artist back no more, because I don't give a shit. The doors open at 9:30, or if the doors open at 10, your ass needs to be there when the doors open, not roll in at 1 o'clock because you partied all night. The same thing goes for Whatnot and eBay live shows. If you when you're a guest invite and your table was given to you, your ass should be at that table. Now you can do the Whatnot or eBay live at your table. That's fine. Knock yourself out, because you can still interact with fans when they walk up to your table. But this whole vanishing from your damn table for 3, 4, 5 hours during a damn day show, because you're off at someone else's booth doing an eBay live or a Whatnot, I wouldn't invite your ass back, not give you a table. You can buy an artist table, and then I don't give a shit. You can stay going from the table all day long if you want to, but because you paid for the table, that's your choice. But if I'm going to give you a damn table, and then some of these guys are bigger names, so they probably got a table and a damn hotel room for a couple nights, I wouldn't invite them back. No, hell no. Stay your ass at the table. Come your ass to the table when you're supposed to, and because I see it all the time. I see them roll in 3, 4 hours after the doors open, show up at 12, 1 o'clock, and then leave at, show's over at 7. They leaving it down, 5:30 or 6, But like I said, y'all control it. Fans control that behavior, because all you got to do is stop tolerating it, and they'll eventually straighten their shit out, because they'll start losing too much money. But the same applies to the promoters. Y'all got to stop asking those people to come to your shows. They're disrespecting the fans, and they're disrespecting you. Like I said, if they want to show up when they want to show up, they want to stay away from the tables as long as they want to during the day, they can buy a damn table and like everybody else, give those damn pro invites where people get the table gifted to them. Give it to the artist that'll be there, that'll appreciate it, But I saw, what was that comment I saw earlier? Something caught my eye earlier. I was going to make sure. Talking about the big project. Yeah. We got a bunch of big projects launching this year. I don't know, man. It's like I said, I know a lot of people want to label me as a complainer. That's fine. I don't give a shit. Their opinion to me doesn't matter no damn way. But let's be honest, the only reason they're saying the shit is because what I'm talking about rocks their boat. and they've had fans conned for so damn long, that they don't want artists telling fans what they should and shouldn't tolerate, or um, what they control. It's amazing how many people don't want that information floating around. Um, but I don't know, man. I don't, like I said, I'm not better than nobody. That's what I'm saying. Like, it's not hard. It's not hard to be respectful. It's not hard to be kind and courteous to the fans. It shocks me. Now, are there some times when fans get a little too far with shit? Yeah, I mean, it happens. I've had people that are supposed to be fans that have made snide ass comments to me. Just rude ass comments. And now some of that kind of comes from, because that is one of the things you do risk when you start pulling fans into your personal bubble of, you're going live a lot, you're talking to fans, you're interacting with fans more. Because let's be honest, most artists don't interact with fans. About the only time you ever get to talk to them is their occasional live show they do, or at a con. And then they interact with you maybe a minute or two. You know what I mean? That's the way it's always kind of been. It's only been in the last few years that people have really kind of started doing some of this live stuff. And even in this scenario, the majority don't do it. I drive to all my shows, so I go live for hours sometimes chatting with you guys. So you are pulling people into your inner circle a little bit, where they're engaging with you on a more personal level. Now, does that sometimes hinder your business a little bit? Yeah, it does, because that can cause people sometimes to think it's okay for them to claim items on a pre-sale and then not pay you because they're your friend, or they think it's okay for them to make snide ass comments to you about something you said or something you did, because they think some reason that they're talking to their brother, or they're talking to their cousin, or they're talking to some coworker. So yeah, sometimes, what's up, Ed? So sometimes, yeah, that being this interactive, it does kind of open you up sometimes. And again, that's one of the other reasons why most artists don't do it. They want to keep it business all the time. And there's nothing wrong with that. There is benefits to that. Do fans having more access to you hinder your business a little bit? Yeah, it kind of does. It doesn't, it benefits it in a way, because people do get to interact with you on a personal level and learn who you are as a person. And that makes them more comfortable about being a fan. But on the flip side of that, it also causes people to sometimes think they can say what they want to say to you, like we were just talking about. But it also sometimes causes a scenario of they get too familiar with you, so they kind of stop buying stuff from you. I've seen that happen. I've seen people who I got very friendly with, and it became more of a working friendship kind of thing instead of a artist fan, and they kind of quit buying stuff. Because that's the way the thing. You ever notice that? That's the way the world works. We'll hire a stranger to do something for us before we hire someone we know. Have you ever seen that? You know what I'm talking about? Like I how many times have you're probably, like, we're all probably guilty of it. How many times have you thought about, you needed a plumber, and your cousin is a plumber, but you go hire someone else instead of hiring your cousin? And it isn't because your cousin's shitty work. For some reason, we have this weird thought process. Well, if he's not going to do it for free because he's family or because he's my friend, I'm going to go pay this stranger to do it. I've seen it plenty of times. I've seen people who had family members who ran lawn services, and they would not hire that person to cut their own grass, but they'll hire some stranger to do it. And a lot of times it's because of that scenario. They can't get it discounted. For some reason, that familiarity creates this weird thing to where people think that you owe them some kind of discount, or you owe them some kind of free work or trade-off, or I don't know what that is. I don't know where that comes from. Because I mean, a long damn time ago, you know, I'll hire someone I know before I hire a stranger. I'd rather spend money with someone I know over a stranger, as long as I know they do good work. Now, I'm not hiring my goofy ass cousin or somebody that does shitty work just to get it from my shitty ass cousin. And I'm not saying I have a shitty cousin. I'm just saying, giving that as an example, I'm not going to do that. But if I know they do the same quality work, I'm going to hire that person before I hire a stranger. But that's the way my grandfather was. If he ever needed something done, which was rare, but he would hire someone he knew versus some random stranger. And that's how it used to be. I don't know where that changed or why that changed. Because now, you know, like I said, when you get familiar with someone, it falls under that family syndrome. And all of a sudden, nobody wants shit from you unless they can get it for free or super discounted. I don't know. I don't know where that came from. So yeah, so there is a double-edged sword to it. It does create more ride or die fans when you interact with them and you engage with them and you're not just trying to sell them something. Because, you know, yeah, I might mention a Kickstarter when I'm live, or I might mention a pre-sale or a Comic-Con commission list, or you know, or anything like that. Yes, I'll mention things that are happening because I'm live and I need to promote my business. But we're also talking about all kinds of other shit, from BS to movies to comics to art to so they're interacting with you on a more personal level. But it is a bit of a double-edged sword. It's the same way when you end up hiring, like it happens sometimes when fans become co-workers, in the sense they start doing art or they start doing writing or whatever the case may be. They'll kind of not buy shit anymore. I don't know where that comes from, man. I mean, think about this for a second. Think about how many times you've probably went out and spent $30 or $40 on a damn t-shirt, or $50 or $60 on a damn hoodie. And you probably know someone who sells t-shirts and hoodies, but you're not buying from them. You know, like I said, I think we're all guilty of it subconsciously, unless you're being very mindful of it. I don't know. So yeah, so that's why a lot of, like, you know, so I don't want people bashing artists or anything, but that's why a lot of artists and creators and etc. What's up, Glenn? They don't really go live and just hang out and talk to people, because they want to make sure they keep that separation between business and fandom, which is also why a lot of them don't ever answer your PMs and you know, on Facebook or Instagram, unless they owe you a commission or something like that. I know that because there's been plenty of times I've mentioned artists because I want to hire them to do a cover for one of my IPs, and they'll never read the message. Now, those guys, a lot of times, are people that's been in the business 20, 30 years. So, you know, I guess at some point you can't even look at your, you know, your, oh, awesome. Congrats, Glenn. Yeah, you, at some point you do get it to a certain level of fandom. You can't answer every PM. You can't. That's why a majority of people tell people, hey, there's my website. If you want to order a commission, go to my website. There's my my rep or handler, however you want to word it. Contact them for commissions or etc. That's why most artists, you know, they don't answer PMs. I mean, shit, there's a lot of artists that are even in my level of fandom that don't really answer PMs. I know I've sent them to them before, and that shit's still on unread. You know, now as of right now, me personally, I try to answer. Well, there's no try. I answer every single PM and email I get from everybody, whether it's Instagram or Facebook or wherever. Whether it's through my website, through again through the social medias, or my actual email. I answer them every single day. Every single one. Doesn't matter how many it is. I try to reply to every comment posted on every damn post that I make. Whether it's just hitting the like button or hitting the like button and saying thank you. Will that change at some point? I don't plan on it. I don't give a shit how busy I get. I think I still owe it to the fans to talk to them direct. I mean, I have a website where people can go buy merch and they can go order commissions and they can go do everything. And hell, even on the website, there's Afterpay and Klarna and Shop Pay in 4, etc., to where people can buy stuff and make payment plans instead of paying all that money all at once. And people still would rather send me a PM and spend full price right then buying something than go to the website, because they want that interaction. They want to feel like that they're spending money with someone, they're giving their fandom and their support to someone that appreciates it and will take a couple minutes to answer any questions or to say thank you personally. Because I can tell you ass right now, there will never be a rep at my table. And I personally, if I walk up to a table and the artist isn't there, and it's not he's gone to the bathroom, he'll be right back. If I walk up to your table and the only person there is a damn handler and he wants to sell me the shit off the table, I won't ever go back to that person. Now, if he just went to the bathroom, then I'll wait a minute for him to come back from the bathroom. If he went to grab some food, I'll wait a minute. Even though technically he should send the handler to go get the damn food. But let's say he went and got it. That's fine. I'll wait till he comes back. But if I walk up to your table, yeah, you just missed him. He's going over to so-and-so booth. They're going to be gone for about an hour, hour and a half doing an eBay live. I won't come back to the table because I'm not there to talk to your rep. I'm not there to talk to your handler. I'm there to talk to you, the person I spent money on. So, okay, awesome. That's cool, Glenn. But like I said, the fans, you guys control this. Stop giving your fandom, your money, and your love to people that can't appreciate it. Yeah, I try my best, man, and I try to answer them quickly. I usually, and don't get me wrong, it's a lot of work. There's a reason a lot of people don't screw with it. I spend around 3+ hours every single day, 7 days a week doing social media. That's sharing out content. That's replying to every comment somebody leaves on one of my posts. If they shared out one of my posts and I see it, I make sure to comment thank you on that, or at least hit the like button so they know I saw it and that I appreciate it. That's answering emails. That's answering PMs. I think that's part of our job. If you're going to be an artist, a creator, or a retailer, our job is customer service. That's our primary, is to make sure that fans are seen and that they're appreciated. I don't know why that's hard. Like I said, now, obviously, if you get to a certain level, there's no way in hell. Like if you take someone like Jim Lee, Mark Silvestri, or David Finch, maybe, or Todd McFarlane, or any of these superstars that's been around for so long and got such massive fan bases, yeah, there's no way in hell. I bet you they get thousands of messages a day on Facebook. You can just about guarantee that shit. I might get, mine's relatively light compared to any of that shit. I might get on Messenger, Facebook Messenger, in a day, a 24-hour time frame, I might get 20 or 30 messages. Now, likes and comments on social media posts, they could be in the 800 plus range in a day. Emails, 10 or 15 emails a day, website questions about something, maybe 5 or 6 a day, if that. So it's a small drop in the bucket, but it still adds up when you add it all together and you do it every single day. So it is, and you don't get paid for that, that's just a tax write-off in the sense of running a business. Because it still applies as business doing that, as part of my tax write-off is social media. But I don't know. I think fans deserve it. It doesn't make me better than anybody. It doesn't put me on some moral high ground to anybody, because again, it's not hard to be friendly and respectful and appreciative of people's fandom. So I don't know. Like I said, if I were you guys, I wouldn't tolerate it. But anyway, anybody, if you got any questions about anything, feel free to ask. I didn't want to sit in there and work anymore. I've been up since like 6 this morning, 6:30. So I've been going on projects. We went live for a couple hours this morning, and we chatted with Chris Hayes and we chatted with Lori Calcaterra about their future projects. As you guys know, we've got Path of the Pale Rider, Lori Calcaterra's Kickstarter that launches February the 7th, which I'll have 3 covers on that Kickstarter. I'll have the regular cover for issue number 8. This is issue number 8's Kickstarter. So I'll have the beautiful zombie burlesque dancer cover, both in nice and naughty version. Of course, the little yellow things won't be there on the real cover. But I also have a throwback cover for her on there for issue number 2. As you know, on the last Kickstarter, I did a cover for issue number 7. I did a cover for issue number 1, the Big James cover. I'm sorry. Big James was the regular cover, was the new number 1 cover. And then, of course, the Duster Cowboy was the issue number 7. And we brought him back here on issue number 2. But yeah, we'll have the burlesque dancer. And then also February the 14th, we'll be launching the Psycho Sal Omnibus. That's a collector's edition. So all 9 books are in one omnibus collector's book. So we will have it in a trade dress version, and we will have it in a hardback version with brand new cover art. So that launches February the 14th, Valentine's Day. Also, don't forget that I'm working on new prints for 2026. This is the new Batman that's going to be on my wall at Comic-Cons. I also just launched the pre-launch for the metal versions of this. So go grab you a metal, 11x17 metal. They come signed, they come with COAs, and they come numbered. The Batman's up right now, and the Ghost Rider. Both the colors for these were done by Dave Kemp. Absolutely killed the colors. But these will be new on my print wall this year. He's working on the Harley Quinn. This will be the new Harley Quinn for the print wall. I don't know if I'm doing a metal of that one or not, but we do have the pre-sale up right now for the metal on these 2. So make sure you go grab you one of them or both. I gave you a discounted price if you bought both of them. And if you did do both, they do come matching numbers as a set. Yeah, we can bring you on sometime and talk about projects and stuff. Yeah, that's something I told everybody I was going to be trying to do more steadily in 2026 was the Creators Corner. And I got to figure out what day I'm going to do it on, because my lives are very spontaneous. Sometimes I'll go live in the morning, sometimes in the evening. I might do it once a week. I might do it 2 times a week, or I might do it once a month. So I need to figure out a day and do it at that exact same day, every single week at that exact same time. So I just need to figure out when I'm going to do it. Maybe Monday night, probably not, because sometimes I'm traveling back from shows on Mondays. So maybe Wednesday night, because I don't want to do Tuesday nights because people are watching new comic book shows, buying books. So maybe I'll start doing it on maybe Wednesday nights or something, like 7 p.m. or something like that. But I'll figure it out. But yeah, it's I don't know. It's yeah. Well, the only thing I always tell everybody, Glenn, which I don't know if you do or not, because Facebook algorithm is trash the majority of times. The only thing I do, if I'm sharing my platform with people and I'm exposing my fans to people, y'all better be sharing out my projects when you see the shit go live. That's the only thing I ask, because that's something we see in this industry that does not happen enough. People want to be on people's podcasts. People want to be exposed to other people's fan bases with their projects. But then when you go look at their Facebook page, they ain't shared out shit of anything you've done. So that's the only thing I ever ask is if you're on my show, make sure you've shared out the content. If you're ever on Lori's, Lori does great podcasts. Hers are more steady than mine. And she talks to all kinds of creators. And I don't know how many times I've seen her share her platform and her fan base with people. And then I go look at that person's Facebook page and I look at 6 months worth of posts and they've never posted shit that had anything to do with Lori. So that's the only thing that I've been more strict about for this year is I'm cool with people. Like I'm not scared of other people's projects. You know what I mean? Like a lot of people are, they don't want to cross promote because they scared that somebody's going to get their money. Or artists don't want to share out to other artists because they're scared their fans are going to spend money with them instead of them. I don't give a shit about competition. I'm not competing against no damn body. So yeah, I don't mind people coming on the show. Now don't get me wrong, I don't have no giant massive platform. It's not like that. But I do have a pretty good platform, and I just want to make sure that if we share ours with people, that they're doing the same thing. Hopefully people can understand that. Hey, what's up, Lachey? So we need more of that in the industry because there's too many people. This isn't pre-internet. This isn't pre-social media. We don't have to fight one another for every damn bone, on the scrapyard. We can share out each other's content. We can cross promote and lift one another up like everybody likes to talk about doing, which they never do for the most part. And it's silly. It's stupid because there's enough fans to go around, you don't have to be the best. You don't have to be the prettiest. You don't have to have the most cleavage showing on your live shows. There's enough fans for everybody. All you got to do is just give good customer service. That's what it really comes down to. Like people ask all the time, oh man, what's your secret? How the hell have you, like case in point with Psycho Sal, issue number 1, we on cover A, we're almost at 10,000 printed and sold in 3 years. And the only place you could buy that book is at my table at Comic-Cons, and people ask, well, man, every time I see you at a show, your table's packed. Every time you come out with a new book, it does well on Kickstarter, or every time you do a cover for somebody else's retailer exclusive, their book sells out really quick. And I just tell people, it's not some super secret. It's just give better customer service. Be more respectful, be more engaging, be more courteous to the fans. Create that ride or die mentality with the fans. Let them know that you love them for being there and not just for the financial side. That you appreciate them just showing up. I've had fans show up to see me at shows that didn't buy nothing from me at my table because they were buying other stuff, but they stopped by my table to say hi. That means the world to me. Because unlike most, I'm in a unique position. I don't really give a shit about the money, which is one of the reasons why I don't give a shit about what I say and what boats it rocks, because I'm going to be successful no matter what, because they're not going to outwork me. They can out pretty me. They can out cleavage me. They can out ass kiss, but they're not going to outwork me. So, yeah, you're welcome to come on. Next time you see me talking about the Creators Corner, just remind me, and that's not a problem. I don't have no problem with that. They ain't no damn body my competition, and I'm not saying I'm better than anybody. I just mean that I don't see people as competition. The palette's too giant, there's too many fans. There's plenty to go around. People just need to stop being petty, selfish, weak. That's what they need to start doing. Too many people are weak. They want to blame everything on everybody else instead of themselves. And all you got to do is just give good customer service, because there's lots of artists that are better than me. Shit tons that are better, that run circles around me artistically. But they're not going to outwork me. It's just not going to happen. You know, I'm OCD and I'm a workaholic, and it's just not going to happen. So it's okay. uh, um, why does it keep putting those weird little things on what you're saying? I think I'll be someone have an autism. What? All right. For some reason, what you're typing, it keeps throwing these little things, these little symbols up in your words. I don't know if that's you're typing on a phone or what that is. What's up, Dennis? Um, you know, it's oh, you just got to do the work. There's no secret. You know, there's no secret to generating more fans. Just give better customer service. You know, there's no secret to doing more work. Just do the work better. I mean, not better, but do the work. You know, on time, and give people a fair price, and that's how you get more work. I mean, you know, like I said, there's lots of artists that are better than me artistically, but the reason I outsell them is because I work harder than them. That's all. That's all it is. You know, I help promote all the projects I'm a part of, whether it's Kickstarters or retailer exclusives or whatever. A lot of artists don't do that. They'll show the cover. Hey guys, here's my new cover for so and so. Be sure to go check it out. And that's the last you'll hear of them. You know, so that's one of the reasons. There's a reason I've been in this business 8 years and I've done 180 published covers, from Image Comics to Dynamite to Indie, Coffin Comics, etc. And it's because, and it's not because I'm a better artist than anyone else that could have done a cover, you know. So that's all you got to do. Just work harder. That there's no secret. You don't got to ass kiss. You don't got to show your tits. You know, you don't got to rob and steal or slander other people to try to get ahead. All you got to do is just do the work. Get off Facebook, you know, arguing with idiots about different topics. You know, get off Xbox, get off your PS5, you know, get out of the bar, get off the weed pipe, and set your ass down and do the work. That's all there is to it. You know, you know, I mean, don't get me wrong. I know I'm pretty, but you know, that just treat the fans the way they deserve to be treated. Be respectful to the to artists, and courteous. You know, do the work. Don't make excuses, because at the end of the day, I don't give a shit about your excuses. You know, if I hire you to do something on one of my IPs, I don't give a shit about your baby mama drama, your cousin, nephew's annual leakage, or whatever excuse you got. Don't miss deadlines. Don't break your word. Do what you're supposed to do. I don't give a shit if you're sick. I don't give a shit if you threw your ass out. I don't care. And neither does anyone else when it pertains to paid work. Do the job and you'll get more jobs. It's that simple. What the hell are you talking about? Someone lied to me. Do you know how much I pissed away on mouthwash? Exactly. See, I try to tell you, you don't got a booty kiss. No, but now let's be honest now. Does keeping your mouth shut get you farther faster? Yes. I'm not going to sugarcoat you that. Being outspoken, calling out behavior. Now, I'm not talking about name dropping people. I'm just talking about calling out shitty behavior, telling fans what they should tolerate and shouldn't tolerate, telling fans what they're owed as fans. Yeah, you rock the boat and you piss off a lot of people, and then those people talk shit about you behind your back and make it 10 times worse than what it was, because they tell you how dirty you were or how mean you were to them, etc., when you decided you didn't want to tolerate their disrespect anymore. So yes, being outspoken is going to rock the boat, and it's going to hinder your growth a little. 100%. Knowing how to play the politics and kiss the right ass will 100% carry you farther than you deserve to be. Because I know plenty of people right now who's done covers for DC, done covers for Marvel, that don't even have a quarter of the covers that I or other artists have done, but they kiss the right ass. They got buddy with the right people, and those people pull some strings to get them shit they hadn't earned yet. And then they turn around and miss deadlines and screw shit up because they hadn't earned it. They don't know how to handle it. So yes, you'll see that happen. And if you learn how to play the politics, more power to you. You know, if you know how to show your tits and cleavage the right way, that'll get you shit you hadn't earned either. It just is what it is. You know, I wish, you know, there are days I wish I could play the politics and keep my mouth shut. I get, you know, when I'm not working, I go live and talk to you guys. And when I talk to you guys, I don't have a planned subject matter list of things to talk about with you guys. So depending on what you guys say in chat or what subjects get mentioned by me, I may go off on tangents on anything, and before you know it, I'm waist deep and talking about bullshit that people don't want me talking about. So yeah, there's some days, you know, I wish I could play the politics of it. If I could play if you look at my fandom, and I don't mean this as an ego, I got a pretty good fan base and loyal as hell. I love my fans. They're rabid as hell. I love them. And that's why I'm super protective of them when it comes to other people treating them like shit. I take it personal. But if I knew how to play the politics, and then you look at my work that I've done, 180 published covers in 8 years, 11 successful Kickstarters launched, completed, and done. Every Comic-Con I've done, from itty bitties to mediums to extra large and everything in between's all been successful because of the fans. If I knew how to play the politics and smooch up and kiss the right ass, I'd already be on a Marvel or DC cover. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about that shit. I hadn't been able to do it. And I'm not saying I'm better than anybody. Like I said, there's a huge advantage to being able to do that. And it gets you places a lot faster. There ain't no doubt about it. And like I said, there's some days I wish I could play that, because I mean, even though I love the indie stuff and I love doing stuff, I mean, I've done my own artist exclusives with Image Comics. Like, I've done enough exclusives with Image over the years that they let me do my own artist exclusives. You know, I've done 3. Hell, I did 2 last year. No, 3. I did 3 last year of my own artist exclusive that I, you know, emailed Image and said, you know, Jose at Image said, hey, I want to do a artist exclusive for this cover, and I'll pay for everything. Okay, sure, no problem. Here's the due date on the artwork. So, you know, I'm grateful for all that, and I love that. I have fun with that. But I'm not gonna lie. Do I want a Marvel cover, or do I want a DC cover? Fuck, of course. It's a childhood dream. You know, I've checked off a couple of my grails that I always wanted to do when I was a kid or a young adult reading some of these books. I got to check off some of my stuff. I got to do a Vampirella cover, even though that's not some gigantic major, you know, it's not Batman, it's not Spider-Man. That was still a big deal to me. I got to do a Vampirella cover. I got to do a Lady Death cover for Coffin Comics and Brian Pulido. That was big on my to-do list as a young person drawing up. Oh man, I remember having conversations with Bert and my friends talking about, you know, us sitting around drawing, and us as young adults and teenagers especially. Oh man, if you got to draw for a comic company, who would you want to draw? I remember having those conversations. Oh dude, I want Batman, or I want Wolverine or X-Men, or I want Lady Death or Vampirella. You know, and then I got to check 2 of those off my bucket list. You know, the other one that's a major one on my bucket list is Batman. You know, I mean, of course I want that. Because the other sad truth of it is, Here's the thing that's kind of a kick in the gut for you. Even though I have a great fan base that are super supportive, and the fact that I've done 180 published covers in 8 years, and I know I keep saying that, but that's a huge deal. A lot of artists haven't done anywhere near that in 8 years. Even though I've done all that, I have this huge library of work for me from or as a relatively new pro. For the majority of people, it don't even matter. If you haven't done a Marvel cover, if you haven't done a DC cover, a lot of the fandom don't give a shit. It just is what it is. I don't know why that's the only measure of judgment that is put on artists. You know, in my opinion, it should be their library of work. Holy shit, that dude's done or that girl's done 150 published covers in this small window. Holy shit. That's the way it should be, but that's not how it is. I can sit here and the reason I know that's not a factor, because some of those people who knew how to kiss the right ass, like there's two people that I knew personally that got to do a DC cover. And at the time they got to do those covers, I had around 80 published covers, maybe close to 100, and they had less than 10. But they knew the right people. It is what it is. And the majority of the fandom, they don't look at us indie creators as anything inclusive, you know? Because even though I've done, what have I done at this point for Image Comics? I've done 10. I think I've done 10 covers for Image Comics. Everything from Department of Truth to Feral to Stray Dogs and Ha Ha and the new Darkness #1 that just came out, and a bunch of other books. And I've done, I think, around 5 or 6 covers for Dynamite, Vampirella, Red Sonja, and so on. And that doesn't matter that much to the majority of the fan base. They want to know, what Marvel cover did you do? What DC cover did you do? You know, so yes, even though sometimes I can sit here and I can talk this shit about, oh, it's not that big a deal, I'm not worried about doing a Marvel or DC. Really and truly, that's me just trying to talk myself into that mindset, because deep down, the kid in me wants that DC cover, wants that Marvel cover. I mean, that's the Grails, you know, no matter what the title is, that's the Grail companies, you know, that's the big two. That's what a lot of people define you from, you know. And then if you look up and land a Venom cover or a Spider-Man or a Batman or a Superman or a Wonder Woman, holy shit, the doors that opens, that's another whole big ball game, you know. Yeah, Red Sonja number 23 or something like that. I can't remember the exact number, 23 or 32 or something like that. But anyway, so yeah, so I mean, you know, if you can learn to play the politics, it's definitely beneficial. If you can learn to keep your mouth shut, keep your opinions to yourself. Even though the crazy thing is, you would think the shit we're talking about, when we call out these shitty behaviors and attitudes, you would think everybody would be on our side, but they're not. They don't want to hear. They don't want to know anybody saying shit about any of that. Like I said, a lot of people have, you know, the fandom has been, in my personal opinion, I think you guys have been conned too long, thinking that you owe us something, and y'all don't owe us a damn thing. And like I mentioned earlier, we owe you guys absolutely everything. So, you know, it is what it is. But anyway, I think I'm going to get off here, guys. We've been live for about an hour and 45 minutes. be ready. Path of the Pale Rider launches February the 7th. Lori Calcaterra, that is issue number 8. And I've got 3 covers on that book. We've got the issue number 8, Burlesque Zombie, along with her naughty version. And of course, the yellow things won't be on there. And then we have a throwback to issue number 2 with the Bounty Hunter. So make sure you guys are ready for that Kickstarter, February the 7th. Go over there and click on her page and click on the link to the Kickstarter and go ahead and click the notify me of launch, because that's going to generate some free stuff for everybody that backs the Kickstarter when it does go live, if you're already on the notify me list. And then, like I said, don't forget, February the 14th, we launch the Psycho Sal Omnibus Collector's Edition, that will have all 9 issues of that storyline, that series, all 9 books in one book. Will be a softback version and a hardback version with brand new cover art, so be ready for that. Again, I just put up the pre-sale for the new prints for the metal versions that will be limited to 30 each, and only 20 each are available for pre-sale on my my Facebook page. They come signed, they come numbered, they come with my COAs. You get a discount if you buy both of them together. So the new Ghost Rider print design and the new Batman are both up right now for the metal version. So go claim your copies before those 20 are gone. Because once those 20 each are gone, that's it. The last 10 of each I will take with me to Comic-Cons for people to buy in person at those events. And I will warn you right now, the metals usually sell out within the first show or 2 that I go to. These things in person are some of the most gorgeous things I've ever seen. Like, they floor me with how they do this particular style metal. It's almost like looking into the hood of a car. If you've ever seen a car that's been airbrushed, painted, or whatever, it's not sitting on top of the metal. It's like you're looking down through it. It blows my mind how these look. They cost me more to make that way, but holy shit, they're gorgeous. And then, of course, for all the people who backed Psycho Sal number 9 Kickstarter, that is at the printer. Some of the books are printing in Arizona. Some of the books are printing in New York. So they should be wrapping those prints up here soon. And as soon as I have those in hand, I'll let everybody know I've got the Kickstarter books, and then I'll start sorting them and getting them shipped out to you guys. Stretch goals are ordered. The hats are being made for the Psycho Sal hats, t-shirts, etc. Trying to think. Don't forget the first weekend of February, for February the 7th. Also, I will be in Akron, Ohio for Akron Comic-Con. It's a small show there in Akron, so I'll be there at that event. A huge thank you to Jason and them for bringing me in as a pro invite and a guest artist for that. And then, of course, the around the 21st, I think, is the date. 21st, 22nd, or 22nd, 23rd, something like that. I will be in Durant, Oklahoma for Texoma. That'll be a Saturday, Sunday show, so make sure you guys check that out if you're nearby. But yeah, thank you guys for hanging out with me. Thank you guys for the love, the support, the fandom. I truly do appreciate it. You guys make every bit of this possible, and don't let anybody else treat you any otherwise. You guys are the absolute bloodline for what we do, and if it weren't for you guys, there would not be comics, there would not be Comic-Cons, there would not be indie books, there would not be commissions, there would be nothing if it were not for you guys. So you guys are the absolute bloodline of our industry. So thank you. I really do love you guys and appreciate everything you do, whether it's just shares and likes, or whether it's the financial side of buying stuff. No matter what facet you fit into or how often you fit into it, I'm super grateful for it. So thank you guys so much. But I'm going to get off here. Maybe go watch a little TV. But you guys have a great day, and I will talk to you all later. Take care, guys. Don't forget, the Harley Quinn is coming soon. That's going to be a new print also. It's at the colorist right now. But anyway, all right. You guys have a great night. Thanks again. Keep doing what you're doing. Keep supporting indie. Keep reading. Take some chances on reading some indie books if you're not. I promise you, you won't regret those. There's some good ones floating around. And if you need suggestions, feel free to ask. We can give you guys a list of books that we know are good that you won't have to worry about wasting your money on. But yeah, you guys have a great night. Talk to you later. Take care, guys. Stay safe, stay warm. Don't be out on the roads unless you have to. And if you do, God dang, be careful, guys. The roads are nasty. So be safe.